What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Guys, today we're going to be talking about something very important as we are talking about our brother Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin Samuels is now the largest YouTuber associated with the manosphere community. I applaud him on the awesome content strategy he has as far as the 10 o'clock stream. He's doing major numbers. And his shows have been so impactful. They've been shared on World Star Hip Hop. But I want to talk about this very important episode he did at the Roommates Podcast. Now, the Roommates Podcast is an exceptional podcast by two brothers. I believe one of the brothers is carrying the show right now. But recently they've interviewed Alpha Male Strategies, which I'll get into in another video. But our brother Kevin Samuels was over there and he talked about a lot of different things. But today we're going to focus on the overweight problem. All right. Now, see, Kevin Samuels as a fashion consultant, fragrance consultant, the reason why his stream is so powerful is because, number one, he says what a lot of guys want to say, but can't say it. And when I'm saying that can't say it, I'm not saying that we won't say it. I'm saying that if we say it, it's very offensive. All right. Kevin Samuels is so masterful in how he puts things and how he approaches things. He doesn't hate women. It doesn't come off misogynistic or anything like that. Kevin Samuels can speak to women in ways that we cannot, which is why he can be in this market. Obsidian cannot talk to black women like Kevin Samuels can. O'Shea Duke Jackson cannot talk to black women like Kevin Samuels can. George Macon, he cannot do it. None of us can do it. Kevin Samuels has the perfect strategy to communicate what he wants to say to black women without them getting mad, and they love it. And he's telling them the truth. And I want to talk about, though, that and his successes is because of that, able to merge and communicate. But I also want to talk about that as a high value man and what he represents for many brothers out there who are educated, are doing very well. The overweight problem is an issue. All right. Now, here's the situation. Before guys like Kevin Samuels came on board, there really wasn't a lot of guys that was, heavily, very, very dressed, very nice, dappered down, that was telling sisters the truth about how guys like himself would not be interested in women if they didn't have certain standards. Now those days are over and Kevin Samuels is reaching to new heights. The fact of the matter is this: if a woman is overweight, single mom, I'm not saying that guys won't deal with her, because they will. The fact is that guys that she wants to deal with won't deal with her. And you know what we have, brothers, in the black community is their standards for black men. Like, you need to be, in shape, you need to have your money, you need to have this and that. But when it comes to them, it's like they can get what they want, but they're not willing to put in the work to be what they want to get. And even Kristen Carrison talked about how so many black women are fed up with black men, want to date high value white men, but don't want to lose the weight. And Kevin Samuels talked about this in the Roommates Podcast. I want you guys to listen to the clip. I'll come back and weigh in on it. Let's go ahead and hear what he has to say.
We're pushing this no standard, no nothing. And you can do that, but at the end of the day, men are the consumers and men aren't buying it. Yeah. Because see, here's the thing. You can be an average, acute looking woman. And years ago, you could have got a man, a husband, but now when you are trying to put on someone else's hair, put on some, even if you don't do that, but just the weight is doing a lot, man. I can't say in the black community the weight is doing a lot, because I have women who are calling in who don't even realize that it's an issue. I had a woman call in the other day and I said, ma'am, at your height and your weight, I mean, no offense, ma'am, but you're the size of a middle linebacker. And she said, no, I'm not. I'm like, and I went and pulled up Lawrence Taylor, NFL great. I'm like, and I was like, he's 4 inches taller than you. She was shocked. So How do we get this back on track? Well, when 4 out of 5 of our sisters are overweight and no one can tell you nothing, I don't know who can get through to them. We have to start having women be honest with each other. Because when you're raised in our culture, mom leaves the house. So they may hear it from me, but until women start actually having, let's just use it, thoughtful, respectful conversations about, hey, we need to probably do this for our own health, for men or whatever, because men don't care why you do it. We just want it there. Because here's the thing. Men can't turn off and on their provider. If a man falls on hard times, stop producing, we can judge him. And if a man's not masculine, we can judge him. Well, we got to have that standard back up for men and women. And the question is, are people really willing to do it? And I honestly have more faith that they are than they're not.
Guys, you heard what he had to say. And, one thing about Kevin's show, he takes in calls from Lady Live, right? Ladies Live. I listen to it over here in Uganda all the time. And he talked about this particular woman that called in and gave, the height, weight, and dress size. That's what he does a lot. And he just had to tell her that based off her size, she was bigger than Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor was 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds, something like that. And she didn't find that anything was wrong with it, okay? But then here's another issue. Women forget that men are the consumer. And see, as he pointed out earlier, is that, 20 years ago, you could be competitive, you can be average like a woman and get a man in the 90s. But see, the situation is this. With globalism and integration more rampant than ever, a lot of sisters, and there's 4 out of 5 of them that are overweight. There's just too much competition in the field. It just is. It's hard to compete. Black men, on average, and shout out to the brothers out there, I'll give you brothers credit. You are stepping it up. Now, we have a lot of work to be done, family, but a lot of black men are going to school. They're getting educated. A lot of black men are really doing good in the blue collar professions. Black men are going to, let's be honest, black men are no different from any other consumer. Black men are not going to level up and start doing better and then say, you know what, I'm still going to accept the same type of thing. No. When black men get money, what are they doing? They're going to the Dominican Republic. They're going to Brazil. They're going to get the highest quality of woman they can afford to get. Black men are getting their own homes. They're getting their black men are not going to be just dealing with, below average stuff. And we see the shift. That's why it's so many thousands of women calling the show every night. They know it's true. Atlanta, they know it's true. See, black men are just not going to sit back and just accept anything anymore. Black men are going to be telling their wives and their girlfriends, like, look, you gained 30 pounds and I don't like it. If you don't handle that, you will be out the door. And see, it was a problem to say that 30 years ago. But there's some brothers who might not say it, but they're going to do it. And it's a problem. Because the thing about it is this. If you're a woman and, you have all of these standards that you want from guys, but you don't want to care about your health. Some women are having this problem before they even have a child. What happens when they have a child? Bruh. And a lot of guys are like, you know what? If this is true with 4 or 5 of sisters, let me go over to the white girls, because I'm going to tell you what happens. A lot more black men than black women go to the gym. And who do you see at the gym? I hate to say it, unless you're in Africa. Now, I will give sisters credit. I have seen more of them at the gym than not. But when you live in Los Angeles, when you live in any major city, New York City, when you go to the gym as a black man, you're running into white women, Asian women, Hispanic women. You're not going to run into as many black women in the gyms, even in black cities. A lot of black men are dealing with different groups of women all the time. And as they're doing that, black men are just going to stop arguing with sisters. Let me say this also. Kevin put it to the point that men cannot criticize women about this weight issue, which is true. Women need to hold each other accountable. And that's good for I think that's the right thing to say. Usually I don't comment on the weight issue that sisters have or the weave issues. I mean, I talk about weaving and saddling it up as a joke, but really from us, they're not going to take heed to it. And a lot of black men understand that. We can't have that honest conversation with black women about weight, Now they can have conversations about us being ugly, us being dusty, us not having no money, but they're not going to be able to accept it. Women have to hold each other accountable, and if women don't, then what you're going to see is more single sisters out there. There's just too many other women of other races that's going to come to the table being in shape, that are going to be looking good. I don't care how liberal the laws are going to get. Men want what they want. And if men are the consumer and what you have, they're not buying it, it's not men's fault. It will be your fault. Well, guys, it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Subscribe to the bell. Guys, I really appreciate all that you are doing on the channel. I know I've been a little lackadaisical because the power has been a problem, brothers. But over here, and I really thank you for all that you're doing. But guys, support the channel by subscribing and hitting the bell. If you want to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/NegroManosphere, you can do that. And always remember, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.